we have the lovely John Hill. John Hill made this interesting looking thumbnail. This is wrong. And it says the dark side of Olympic skateboarding. Very strong stance. Kind of mean to this one person, I guess. Well, like definitely singling this one person out extremely hard. So let's see what this is all about.
Before we get into trying to do more of the 1,000 trick goal that I have for this year, I actually wanted to talk about...
Yeah? John, yeah? Guys, should I do a stream? Stream ends when I do 1,000 tricks. I'm down. 1,000 tricks in one stream. I think I could do it. Is that too many tricks? You just got to do all the bullshitty ones. Fakey ollie 50, body barrel. Fakey ollie 50, shove. Fakey ollie 50, 180. Fakey ollie 50, 180. Fakey ollie 50, shove other way. Yes? Okay, I'll do it. It would take half a year. No, it would take 3 days. Easy. Light. Light work. Couple days. It will be a few days. I gotta find a time. Maybe post-baseball thing.
About something somewhat topical. Christiana on the 9 Club and Jeff Raleigh both had clips come out recently talking about the Olympics. Jeff Raleigh about his opinion, which was actually surprising because he's someone who's heavily involved in the contest circuit. He's an announcer for maybe the X Games, but definitely Street League. And then Christiana is potentially skating in the Olympics for the Philippines, but trained Chinese skateboarders for the Olympics, and her story is insane. Also, this video is sponsored by Squarespace, the best website for building websites. More on that later.
Squarespace, hit me up.
Because I really didn't like the way that culture was around me. I thought it was cheesy. I thought it was lame. I thought people were insecure. And I just thought, okay, well, I don't really want to be a part of this, but I'm forced sort of into this society to acclimate. And I'm just going to grow up and do one of these jobs that I don't really want to do. And then I saw skateboard culture, which felt like a rebellion against the culture that we're all forced into. And I thought, this is amazing. And that's what attracted me to skateboarding in the first place. Jeff Raleigh makes a comment that
has not done one thing for my skateboarding, has not motivated me in any way, shape or form to do it. If I was a young kid, I don't even know if it would have helped with participation, whether I'd even have picked the board up watching.
If he would have seen Olympic skateboarding, he would not.
Is he saying if he watched the Olympics? I mean, I 100% agree. I told you, when I was a kid, if my mum came out to where I was skating and said, Ricky, today we're going to practice heel flips, I would say, I'm not skating. I'm done. No way. So I agree. I see what they're saying. I 100% agree. To me, skating is my own spiritual journey of doing my own shit. If they said, you gotta learn heel flips today, you must get heel flips soon, I'll say, hell no, bye.
I'd have gotten into skateboarding, and I 100% know that that would be the case for me as well. If I saw it in the context of the Olympics, I would not have been interested in it at all, because to me now, through the Olympics, it looks like just another sport. It looks fun to do, maybe fun to try, but the culture is what attracts, I think, most skateboarders in the first place, and nowadays it's essentially just turning into another sport. I mean, I think sports fandom in general sort of incites a lot of us versus them mentality, and that's just not, I'm not into that at all. I know the majority of America loves competition and dominating and winning.
I feel like John always goes a little too hard on the tangents. I feel like you didn't really need to say all this stuff.
Absolutely not into that concept remotely. All that being said, I'm just trying to be really honest about my opinion. I don't like it at all. I do not like Olympic skateboarding, and I think a lot of people from my generation don't as well, and I know probably the majority of people out there think that that's kind of a silly, immature opinion. That's just the way it is. Now, let's talk about Christiana, who went to China to train kids. This is sort of where I hate, why I don't like this kind of stuff, and the problem with, I think, is in the Olympics is now countries are training kids to win the Olympics. So in China, you can watch her clip, I'll link it down below if you just want to get the full context. In China, they actually had a bunch of kids ride skateboards, and then the ones that seemed naturally talented towards it, they put into this training program where they essentially lived at like this boarding school type building, which I think is the Olympics building. And I don't know how long they're there, but they skate for 6 hours a day. We need some vloggers in there. 7 days a week to train as skateboarders. And even if the kids like it or don't like it, we need some Chinese vlogs coming out of there. They'd be, or a lot of them didn't, and they'd be crying during the day. They had coaches as well that knew nothing about skateboarding trying to build them up. So they hired a lot of professional skateboarders to go out there and train these kids, and they were shocked, obviously, because professional skateboarders nowadays probably grew up in a culture where they were anti-culture as well. They had a group of friends, they got to play and learn in a very fun, motivational way, and now they're in like the system where kids are forced to be they're forced to skate even if they don't want to, and then they're forced to do things that are super dangerous for new skateboarders. So as soon as they learn how to ollie, apparently they would get the kids to ollie over a board into a bank, which is scary for anyone who's even good at ollies, and these kids would roll their ankles, they would get hurt, and the coaches would be shocked, like, what's going on? It's like, this is a very dangerous thing to do. But they had the good skateboarders, and then they had coaches telling the good skateboarders what to tell the kids, and they had no idea what they were talking about, so these kids were getting broken off. And then people out there might be like, yeah, but it created these great skateboarders. So what? Like, who cares? So they're creating good skateboarders to what? Win the Olympics. That's it. The only reason they have these programs is so that these kids can win the Olympics, so that the country itself can get more popularity and accolades. So they're...
This is what I say. Like, I agree with John, and like, I would say I don't particularly care that skating's in the Olympics. I think overall it's probably good that there's more eyes on skating, whatever. But at the same time, is like, I would never get into skating to say, I want to beat other people in a competition. Yeah, I want to beat down the other opponent. I want to beat them and win gold. Like, that's very far away from what skating is to me. Skating is like a journey of within. But what's interesting is what John's saying is they're going to get good at skating. That's true, but they're also going to get good at the specific type of skating that is good for a contest, which is being able to do good tricks every single try. You know, being able to do the hardest tricks you possibly can every single try. It's not about doing an outside the boxy kind of trick, pushing the boundaries, doing stuff like that. It's like, do the best possible trick you can and always land it. And that to me is such a boring thing of skating. If I went to the skate park and I said, my goal today is to kickflip the 5-stair 40 times in a row with no bails. To me, that's so boring. But then go to the skate park and say, oh, I could skate all these things. I could do all these different things. I can try one trick 250 times and land it one time and be hyped. To me, that's what skating is, pushing yourself in that kind of way, not just like, I want to get hardest trick possible, consistent every try. To me, I feel like that's kind of like anti-skating, is like, I must land every try, is like almost against what skating is, you know? No video part is a trick that someone does every try. Like, if the trick is every try, it's not a hard enough trick almost. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Using these kids for the country's sake, but country is just, I guess in America we're instilled with this sense of American pride.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Motivational speech.
Take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Boom. That's how you become a great baseballer. No, I don't know. That's why I think skating is not like any of these sports. Because in baseball, you should hit the ball every time. Yes, hit the ball as often as you can. In skating, should you land the hard trick every time? Not necessarily. You should land it every 100th try, so it's hard enough, I feel like.
Like, yeah, doing stuff for the country is great, but I don't get it. I also like using this opportunity to tell people out there that I'm a skateboarder through and through. I think the way that you see that, I'm not patriotic. I don't like competition, and yeah,
I will
think
go
a
to
lot
batting
of my
cage, don't worry.
views are feel very not anti-American, just anti-world, I would say. Anyways, I would love to know your opinion. I think most of you probably
anti-world
think sports and competition.
Wild stance.
Yeah, it is good, but I don't. I'm gonna go to the skate park and get closer to those 1,000 tricks.
Okay. Is that the end of the vid? This is the thing. I love these interesting topics, but I'm just not gonna watch the 1,000 tricks. Is that the end of the Olympics? Anti-world is a weird thing to say. Yes, John is a weird dude. I like John. I like John, of course, but John is a strange fellow. I don't know how else to say it. That's mean. I don't think strange fellow is necessarily negative. I think it's just accurate portrayal. But yeah, I thought this was an interesting topic. I really like when people explore these kinds of topics. I think it's very interesting and very stimulating. And it gets me thinking a lot.
Drumbook is gifted 1 subs.